Next on Stampede.
National news, including severe weather in Texas and the results of the second impeachment trial, as well as several campus updates here at Milligan, plus the latest scoop on sports.
These stories and more are coming up next. Stampede TV begins now. Welcome to Stampede TV. I'm Avery DeWolf.
And I'm Analia Hines. We begin with the latest news on Texas, where brutal temperatures over the last week forced the state into crisis. President Biden declared a major disaster in Texas after the winter storm Viola caused widespread infrastructure damage to both running water and power. Residents were left vulnerable with nearly 60 deaths, according to BBC. More than 300 cases of suspected carbon monoxide poisoning were counted as people tried to find warmth in their cars. As of Friday, temperatures were expected to rise, leaving Texans to recover from the dangerous conditions. Next, we'll be looking at the results from Donald Trump's second impeachment trial.
In other national news this weekend, the U.S. Senate acquitted Donald Trump at his second impeachment trial on February 13. The trial began February 9 and lasted 4 days, making Trump the only president to have been impeached twice. Senators heard arguments from both House impeachment managers and Trump's lawyers. They then had time to question both sets of lawyers, according to the Washington Post. After deliberation, the vote was 57-43 in favor of convicting the former president of inciting insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, but a two-thirds majority was needed to confirm the charge. 7 Republican senators crossed party lines to vote in favor of convicting Trump. With the decision to acquit the former president, many politicians are now calling for an investigation into the riot itself. As political leaders shift their focus off Trump and towards the investigation, Trump seems to have plans to remain in the political arena. He released a statement after the vote. According to the Associated Press, he said, "In the months ahead, I have much to share with you, and I look forward to continuing our incredible journey together to achieve American greatness for all our people."
In campus news, the Tennessee Department of Health has reached out to the Milligan University Physician's Assistant Program to help conduct a research project regarding the accuracy of COVID-19 rapid test results. This study began in October, and Milligan is the only school invited to participate in this public health initiative. Milligan students had the opportunity to take part in this groundbreaking study. The PA program recruited members of the Milligan community to receive a rapid COVID-19 test to help gather information for the research project. Any student that had not tested positive for COVID-19 in the past 90 days was eligible. The PA students administered tests in the Gregory Center parking lot February 23rd through the 24th. Associate Professor of Physician's Assistant Studies, Maureen Knitschel, explained the significance of Milligan's participation in this study. Knitschel said, "We are very excited to be a part of something like this because it will truly influence the way COVID testing is done on a day-to-day basis. This is actual real-life research that is being conducted on our campus that could identify the spread of this illness." Hart's RAs celebrated Valentine's Day a little differently this year with a special Galentine's Day event. Reporter Grace Teeter has more.
The ladies of Hart Hall celebrated Valentine's Day a little early this year with a special Galentine's party on Wednesday evening. The Hart RAs decorated the common room with pink and red balloons to celebrate the holiday, and residents were encouraged to make Valentines to deliver across the Milligan community. First floor RA Kylie Wood had the following to say on the party.
What's up? I'm an RA from first floor Hart Hall, and tonight we're doing a Galentine's event, and I think it's super important that we're having events like this on campus in the midst of the pandemic, just because it's so easy to be sitting in your room, kind of locked up in your room, trying to play it safe. And with these kind of events, we're able to distance, we're able to get clean, and it's just a way for girls to interact together. So really enjoy it.
Sophomore Chesney Julian was one of the Hart residents very appreciative of the effort of the RAs.
I think it's really great that the RAs have taken their time and money and put this together for everyone, because especially right now with COVID and coming back to school and busy schedules, it's really easy to lose that sense of community. And I think it's really awesome that they've taken this time and effort to kind of bring us all together and to just have fun on a night when people are doing homework and going about their busy schedules. So I think it's really great.
This has been Grace Teeter with the StampedeTV.
Thanks, Grace. Now to Avery with SGA News.
The Milligan Student Government Association held their bi-weekly meeting in Lower Seeger on Thursday evening. The SGA voted on 3 themes for that big party. The themes include New York Fashion Week, black tie, and Arabian Nights. In the following weeks, SGA will post various polls on all their social media platforms so the Milligan student body can vote on the official theme. SGA also heard from Allie Burns, a sophomore student at Milligan. Burns presented a club formation request for the Milligan Catholic Club. This club will be open to the entire student body. SGA approved Burns' request with a 90% approval rate.
Milligan's literary magazine is now accepting submissions. Macy Kennedy has the details.
Milligan's literary magazine, The Phoenix, is now accepting submissions for its 2021 issue. The deadline for submissions is March 19th. Eliana Rangel is the editor and takes submissions at erangel@my.milligan.edu.
Well, we're accepting any type of writing, really, and even photography and drawings as well. It's an interdisciplinary magazine and journal, so it's research, it's poetry, it's prose, short story, anything really, and then photography and drawing as well.
Eliana said, quote, "If there's anything you want to show to the rest of campus, this is a great way to do it," quote. Dr. Heather Hoover is the faculty advisor for the magazine, and she strongly encourages students to share their voice through the Phoenix.
You know, I think this is a time where we need to be creative, and everything feels a little bit bleak, and when we see other people being creative and being vulnerable in that way, it's beautiful and it's encouraging. So I think if you think you've got something to say, then you should say it, and we want to hear it. So the Phoenix celebrates all kinds of things, so it doesn't have to be a poem, it can be a short story, it can be an essay, it can be a memoir, it can be anything that has helped you express yourself, especially over the course of the last year, because our theme this year is healing.
As Dr. Hoover said, the theme for the Phoenix this year is healing. Submissions are due by March 19th and can go to Eliana Rangel or Dr. Heather Hoover. This is Macy Kennedy reporting for the Stampede.
Thanks, Macy, and remember to get your submissions in by March 19th to Ileana. The Hart Hall t-shirt competition is now underway. Residents of Hart have from now until Sunday the 28th to submit graphic designs of the front and the back of a t-shirt to represent the hall and what it means to them. This competition is only open to current Hart Hall residents, and designs must be submitted to your RA in a PDF format. If you are interested and live in Hart Hall, contact your RA to let them know. Winners will be announced Sunday night.
Marks Black History Month, and Milligan has joined in on the celebrations. Milligan students had significant input into the planning on-campus events for Black History Month. Goa Diversity Scholars are hosting an art exhibit called Black History Month Collage Project, Finding Unity in Trembling Times, in the sub February 22 through 28. A virtual conference hosted by the Council for Christian Colleges and Universities will take place today and tomorrow, and students can register for free. Junior Jenna Masalay, a first-generation immigrant from Liberia, is participating in the collage project and shared her thoughts on the Black History Month and its meaning. "I think it's a very important and informative month for us to be teaching other people," said Masalay, "but I think it's also important that it's not up to Black people to have to teach about what has happened to them in the past and what is happening to them now." Now back to Analia with more campus news.
To follow up about the recent winter weather here on campus, StampedeTV reporter Pablo Rivas spoke with Brent Nipper.
Every winter, Milligan University experiences a good amount of snow and inclement weather. As a result, Milligan is well prepared for any ice over or blizzard with its grounds crew. David Brown is the service manager and head of the grounds and landscaping department here at Milligan. He, along with 5 members of his staff, is in charge of preparing for the possibility of inclement weather to make sure students, faculty, and members of the administration arrive safely to campus and are able to navigate it without any risk for injury. Here's what a typical snow prep day looks like for them.
I always make sure we have our salt. We use bags, 50-pound bags of salt. We make sure we have our salt from our storage unit into the physical plant here where it's dried and stuff. And always we'll have the guys come in early. Sometimes we'll come in as early as 5:30, even 6 o'clock in the morning. And first thing we do is we go to the dorms where all the students are staying. And we focus on entrances of the dorms, all the sidewalks around the dorms. And then once we're done with that, which when the whole crew is at it doing this, we can knock that out roughly within the hour. So by 7:30, we're finished with the dorms. Then we hop over to the business offices side, like Dorothy and business, and the science building, Gregory, FOB, and sub. We start focusing on those because there's classes, there's professors. But again, the first thing we do is do the students first. The areas where they are.
Brown is always in communication with President Bill Greer and Academic Dean Garland Young to let them know what conditions are like and decide whether any schedule change is necessary. Brown constantly looks for weather changes and considers ice, temperature, and the expected inches of snow as big factors when it comes to class alterations. In his time here, David has never had an incident where a member of the Milligan community has gotten severely hurt due to inclement weather.
These folks really do a great job. They come in and real early in the morning. A lot of times it's cold and snowy and ice and everything else, and they just get out there and do a lot of really good work, getting everything cleared, making everything safe, which is really one of our highest priorities, to just make sure everything's safe and conditions are good for students to go to class, people to come to work, all the different things that we have going on here. I think if you spend any time with those folks down there, you'll realize that it's more than just a job to them. They really do care, really take pride in their work, and really care about making sure that this community is safe whenever we do have any kind of weather or anything like that.
This is Pablo Rivas with Milligan Stampede.
Thanks, Pablo. Hopefully we're out of the snow season for this semester.
The new Milligan women's flag football team played their first game over the weekend. The team left early Friday morning to drive to Ottawa, Kansas to play their first ever match in program history against the Ottawa University Otters. On Saturday, the Lady Buffs suffered an 84-0 loss. This is what head coach Rachel Cienez had to say about the team's performance. We took a tough loss this weekend against Ottawa. For having a young team that doesn't have much experience in flag, and although the score didn't reflect it, we did well overall. From the first quarter to the fourth quarter, we mentally stayed tough and adapted well. This game left a bitter taste in our mouths that is going to drive us to train harder. We will continue to take firm steps in the right direction to make this program the strongest in the region. We appreciate all the love and support from our Buff fans. Expect big things from us in the next couple months. The Lady Buffs hit the road again on March 5th to play a series of games against Xavier University of Louisiana, Midland University, and University of St. Mary's in New Orleans on March 6th.
In other sports news, men's basketball battled in overtime to pull out a win, beating Montreat with a score of 98-91 on Wednesday night. They will move on to the AAC tournament starting Saturday. The Milligan men will host St. Andrews for their first game. Women's basketball suffered a close loss on the same day, Montreat claiming the victory with 63-59. The team will face the AAC tournament on Saturday, playing at Columbia International. The swim team celebrated a hard-fought conference championship at the Appalachian Athletic Conference Championships on the men's side, with the women finishing runner-up. The men won 10 AAC titles and 9 on the women's. Freshmen Tyler Cates and Gabby McPherson led the women with 5 titles each. The successful season ended with the conference championship for Milligan due to the NAIA Swimming and Diving National Championships cancellation. They will continue the action starting in their 2021 through 2022 season next year. The track and field team competed in Louisville, Kentucky this Saturday and Friday, with both men's and women's teams finishing runner-up. Senior Tim Thacker and junior Avery DeWolf both won Runner of the Year awards for their performances, earning a combined 80 points for the team score. Both track and field events will finish their indoor season with the NAIA Indoor National Championship set for March 3rd through 6th in Yankton, South Dakota.
I'm Avery DeWolf for StampedeTV.
And I'm Analia Hines for Stampede TV. For the latest news information, visit us online at milliganstampede.com, tune into the Roundup, our weekly podcast, or check us out on social media. Be sure to join us for our next newscast on March 11th, and thanks for watching.